So I mean, it would be great if you could show us a little bit about 365 and what is possible with that and the use case that you think are more relevant.
So what we can see here is I have almost 3K of records. And if I'm new guy, and if I have all this data, I have no idea what is going on. So I need some way to, let's say, I need to be able to visualize this data in with the fields that I am most interested in. So what I do next is basically I click here and I say visualize this data in 365. I click this. And now I have a new view, which is basically a starting point. So the next step is I need to choose the columns that I'm interested from the asset table. Let me take these columns. As you can see, I can choose all columns from this table. I'm putting a lot of different columns just to showcase how it is working when I have multiple things in place. And now what I do, I click play here. And
wow,
poof. So 3K of records, it lasted like maybe 2 seconds or 3 seconds. Okay, so what I have here now is basically all of my data is visualized in just one place. I can see basically all support groups. I can see all companies, cost centers, vendors, install status, categories, departments, and also models.
Yeah. So if I understand correctly, the colors are the category, the fields that you have chosen, and the dimension of the bubble is how many items from the table fall in that category.
Yes.
And when there is a link between those bubbles, it means that one asset falls in both categories, and the dimension of the link is related to how many items are interconnected, let's say.
Yes, basically that's the case. So we have multiple different use cases. In this case, we are just counting the number of occurrences, but we can also say, for example, for assets, we can take cost column, and instead of counting the occurrences, we can take column weight cost as a weight. So basically then all these bubbles will mean how much money did you spend into specific entity. From this view, I can basically tell some kind of a story about the data, about 3K of records that I choose before. So I can see that most of my assets, they belong to the consumable model category. Some of them belong to the computer. I also see that most important cost center is customer support, also IT and sales. Most dominant vendor is Apple. Most of the assets are belonging to this company North America. From the model name, I can see that optical wireless mouse and also desktop keyboard, they are most dominant one. And also regarding the usage by departments, customer support is using most of the assets. Yeah. So as you can see here, I can see the size of a bubble is the importance, but I can also see the thing that I was talking about before. I can see all the relations to other entities. You can see, for example, install state is consumed and model category consumable. They have the strongest connection. Also, if I hover some node, the other nodes will basically change to the amount, like how much is there. I can also take any node and I can double click and I can get all the details about this node. So let's say department name, we have customer support, and then I see all the details about the distribution by companies. I see also the details about the distribution of cost center, installed status, model name, model category, vendors. What is the next part? The next part here is that I see this text here, which is basically AI generated, which is basically giving me a human readable form of a summary of the data that I have here. And basically I can do this for any node. I can, for example, take Apple, and I can see here AI is preparing the summary, and in some short time I will get the summary about this result. So I have here a bit more facts, but let's say maybe interesting facts just to read. Interesting facts from the data include the popularity MacBook Pro models, with the MacBook Pro 17 being the most purchased. Additionally, the majority of purchases are made by the sales and customer support departments, indicating a focus on providing Apple products to these teams. So just imagine, so this is all of this is dynamic content. So this is not some generated content. This is all AI generated, and imagine all the possibilities that you can do. You can have, for example, let's think about the ITSM module. We can think about, let's say, incidents, and we have their service managers, and let's say they are managing some of their services, and for example, each morning or each week they can get an email with this kind of a summary of their business service that they are managing, and all the details, what happened in the previous week. And once again, so this is totally different than the traditional approach with all the charts and things there. So this is why it's called 365, because I basically see everything in my data in one place. And if I am then interested to find out more, I can always go to the traditional way. I can create different charts and see the real numbers. But from here, I start. I saw you were working a lot on showing the structure of ServiceNow tables. So I don't know how many tables are there out of the box, maybe 5-6K of different tables. And you have shown this in a large graph. It is also possible to show some kind of parent-child relation. And then we will have, let's say, a larger parts. So if I go to the tables, I see here a list of my tables, and I see almost more than 5K of different tables. So what I'm interested into a table, and also a table that is extending maybe the parent table. So what I can do, I can also visualize this. I can go again to my overview, and I will take the name and also parent, which is called superclass name. And in this case, I will not differentiate columns. And let's see what happens. So we are loading 5K of rows, and it is here. So as you can see, it's really, really fast. But of course, we see that this view is not relevant for this use case. So let me go and apply another view, Force Atlas, and it is now working to make it a bit nicer. And let me just also maybe decrease the size of the nodes. Okay.
So many clusters.
Yeah, in this case, we just have two clusters, parent and child. This is because I'm using the same approach that we use for the data before. But of course, we will have here the possibility where you exactly have a tag, which in this case will be let's say a category of a node. So you can imagine CMDB and all the CIs there and how they are connected, and we will have parent-child relation. But regarding the category, we will have it says class name of a CI as the color. But what I can see from this view here, as you can see, I can easily scroll down and do many things, even though I have many nodes. What we can see that sys metadata is always in the middle of everything.
Of course, yeah.
Everything starts from here. But for example, what is also interesting, I see some things here. This is CMDB application.
Yeah.
Of course, and here I guess yes, this is CMDB CI, and I see that are extending this. So yeah.
And the cloud of points, these are tables which
have
not so connected, I guess.
Yes.
So they are okay. Yeah.
For example,
that's very nice.
With one of our customers, we did the same thing. And can you guess which table was in the middle? I mean, if we exclude the sys metadata.
I mean, CI task are the usual candidate.
Yes, but in this case, it was import set table. So
oh wow.
I guess they were importing a lot of different data sets, and each time you have
thousands of import sets. Okay, yes, I see. That's an insight. Okay, yeah, that's very nice.